Always establishing character and moving forward. So hard. How they get that inner nugget. Let's just start, Jen, just start. Hey guys, it is almost summer and I am super excited because last year somebody sent me an email and asked me if I wanted to create a DIY summer camp out of my own home. And I thought, when I first opened it, I was like, no, because that sounds way too hard. But as I looked at it, I thought, oh, that's not hard at all. Actually, that's everything that I want to be accomplishing. We did a version of it last summer, and I want to talk about what went right, what went wrong during that. And then we're going to be doing a slightly different version this summer because we are going to be moving kind of for a month this summer. And so it's going to look a little bit different. So what I loved most about this idea is that she really addressed all of the things that made me worry and made me feel like I was doing summer wrong. And she also said, hey, do it like this and it's way better. And so I found that she's right. Those things I was doing, they were wrong, and these things over here are way better. So the things that I've done wrong over the years is that some summers we don't really do anything. We just don't have a plan, and time passes, and I feel like it's fine, the kids are playing, but really what's happening is they're going over to a friend's house and playing electronics over there, and they're really, really wasting their time. And I feel really guilty about this. It's in the past, there's nothing I can do about that, but I really didn't like that experience. I really did not feel like that was an effective use of our summers. And then on the other side, I've had some summers where we are running nonstop. The kids are in classes, we've got camps everywhere. We've got all these kids running everywhere. And I felt exhausted by the end of summer, and I just felt like that cost a ton of money. It cost a ton of time. I think it was good for the kids who went to these individual camps. It was good for them, but it completely burnt me out, and it wasn't really good for me. And so I really like what she's created here because it's good for the kids and it's good for me. So those are the things that I've done wrong. This is what she suggests doing on the other side to make it a really successful summer. So first off, she takes care of the sort of responsibility part of life and being in a family, and that just becomes a part of the day that you brush your teeth, say your prayers, make your bed, clean your room, do your cleanup chore, clean your area, whatever is your responsibility. That's what we do first thing in the morning. And then she also incorporated something that I haven't been very good at. Last year I didn't do a ton of this, but I really want to do better this summer, and that's moving your body. Get up and move. You can use, there's online stuff like Ninja Now and, videos that you could watch and have the kids do exercise, but it's summer. Go jump on the tramp. Go play basketball. Go climb a tree, right? There's so many things that you can do that are physically active, and it's better to do those first thing in the morning. So we do our chores, and then they go outside and they play and they do something physically active to really, that's just an important part of being healthy, but it also creates a foundation that you can really spring from. And I completely forgot about this next part on the list. I'm glad I wrote it down because the truth is last year, this was my kids' absolute favorite part. Each one of my kids kind of looked at the things that they were interested in and they said, I want to spend more time doing this. This is something that during the school year, sometimes I get to do, but we're just really focused on history and math and reading and science and all these things. And I don't necessarily get to pursue in an organized manner my personal interests. And so they each had something that they said, this is really interesting to me. I want to spend time doing it. And so my 13-year-old said, I really want to learn coding. And he did. He learned at least one language of coding and just really, really enjoyed that. That one's always, it always makes me wonder. I'm like, are you playing or are you actually learning? But he did. He picked up a language. So that was cool. He really enjoyed that. My daughter, I think her thing was she wanted to do lots of arts and crafts. And so she had this time when I said, okay, you're done with outside play. It's time to work on your personal interests. She got to do lots of arts and crafts things. And I gotta be honest, I can't remember what my youngest son's interest was. I think it probably moved because he's still so young. There are going to be lots of things that he wants to do. But on my list here, I wrote down cooking, pottery, typing, learning about marine animals, learning about any animals, playing the piano, building an obstacle course, math. I've got some kids who are really interested in math, and as long as it's not an assignment that they have to do, they just love learning about math. Lots of physical stuff that they're really interested in. So we spend maybe 30 minutes where we just say, let's go do that thing that you're really interested in it. And they just kind of scatter, go to their areas and they work on their skills practice. And it is such a satisfying use of time that they feel like I chose that, I did that, I love that, that's awesome. And we only do 30 minutes a day, but they really, really love it. Then we do our family read. And this is something that's just all the time. We always have a book going. We are probably going to finish the Little House on the Prairie series. That's first what we'll do, and then I think we will do Wizard of Oz if we still have time. I don't know how long it will take us to get through the series, but that's our family read. We're just going to spend about an hour reading that. Then we get into the actual, this is summer camp, right? Up to this point, you're probably thinking, that's not summer camp. That's just regular stuff. What are you talking about? This part right here, this is the summer camp. I actually have 2 boys who have chosen to spend their summers being summer camp counselors, and they have loved it and they've been really good at it. And it's also helped me to see how people are structuring their summer camps when you have like an entire summer and you can see what they're doing every single day to keep people entertained and also teach them stuff. So basically what they do is they pick a theme for every day and then they do something that matches that theme. So that's what we're doing. Our theme is going to be, Monday is Make It Monday. Tuesday is Ticket Tuesday, Wednesday is Wet Wednesday, Thursday is Thinking Thursday, and Friday is Field Trip Friday. We also have, sometimes we'll do stuff for Saturdays, and we'll call that Super Saturday because Dad can join us, so it becomes super. But those are the things that we do on each of the days. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty details because those are cool names, but what do you do with all that stuff? So Make It Monday, I try to stay in the house every day except Field Trip Friday because it just makes me tired to constantly be running. So I want to have most of this stuff just be housebound. So on Make It Monday, we do K'NEX, Legos, blocks, we have tangrams. We also have a couple of KiwiCo boxes that we have not finished over the years, or last year, and so we're going to be doing that. And my 13-year-old has a Crunch Labs box, which he absolutely adores. And so he will be doing that probably on Make It Monday, which is hard to say, sit on it, don't do that until Monday, but it's also deferred gratification, which is an important lesson. So, sit on it, you can make it till Monday. So Tuesday, on her thing that she sent me in the email, she did Take a Trip Tuesday, and then Friday she did Friend Friday, and I changed it. So we do Ticket Tuesday, and basically what I did was I made a massive list of all the things that you need tickets for, and that is everything from sporting events to musicals to circus, plays, art museums, science museums, planes, trains, movies, football, opera, racing events, all these things. And also my kids said, you could get a speeding ticket. And I said, yes, you could. So we used the speeding ticket day. We watched Formula One. And I'm like, they are speeding really bad. So we will watch Formula One for that Ticket Tuesday. So here's how I do Ticket Tuesday. I will pick one of these events and something that we can do for that event. So say that we chose the circus. Then I would print out a ticket, and I just use Canva, but you could just write it if you wanted to. But you just create a ticket for them. It says their name and the date and what they're going to experience that day. And then for the circus, we just watched a YouTube video of the circus. But it is just so exciting for them to receive that ticket and look at it and discover what they're going to get that day. It's a little bit like Christmas morning. Every time that they're like, what is this exciting thing that we get to do today? Last year, I also focused on making it have some sort of food that connected with each of these things. So for a play, I would give them kind of posh food, because if you've ever been to a play, they will give you a break when they halfway through the play and you can get up and you can go get concessions, but it's not like nachos. I mean, it's really kind of nice posh food. And so we'd go get cheesecake bites or eclairs or something for that. For a movie, we'd just get popcorn if we're going to have a Ticket Tuesday for that. Football was nachos. Racing was hot dogs. That would also work for baseball. The circus was peanuts. A plane, they got half of a cup of pop, because if you've been on a plane, they only pour a little bit. You don't get the whole bottle, so they get that experience. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to do that same food connection that I did last year. That just seems like more work than I want to put in this year. But I do have a list of different things that require tickets this year, and I've just written them all down, and we are going to do those on Tuesdays. That will be fun. Wet Wednesday is pretty self-explanatory, but we don't generally leave, at least we don't leave the neighborhood. How's that? We've got a couple of neighbors that have pools that have invited us to just come over whenever. And so we'll go to their pool maybe once or twice in the summer. And that will be one of the Wet Wednesdays. We also have a tramp. The kids can play with water balloons on the tramp. They can just get a hose and spray each other down on the tramp. They could actually just go outside and play with the hose and water buckets and play whatever they want. The point is, they're going to get on their swimming suits, they're going to go outside, and they're going to get wet. And it kind of doesn't even matter what they do. And so that is what we do for Wet Wednesday. The month that we're going to be gone, we're going to a place that has tons and tons of awesome water parks. And so I'm not even really worried about the wet stuff that we do here, because when we're going to Utah for the summer, and we are just going to there are splash pads everywhere. There are rec centers everywhere. There are water parks everywhere. And so we will have plenty of time getting all of our water fix done during that. So I'm not very worried about it while we're here. And that's just being aware that this summer, probably we'll get most of the water stuff done when we're in Utah, and maybe less of it here. Thinking Thursday is actually way more fun than it sounds. It kind of sounds like, oh, it's time to sit down and study something or be preached at or something. And it's not that at all. Like we go to the library every single Thursday, but the kids love it. They go through the books like crazy. And honestly, I love Thinking Thursdays. I love that we get to come home and they're just quiet for the rest of the day, just reading their books, absolutely enthralled in what they got. It is important that when they go, they also get what we call a wonder book. And I think that was her term in the blog, that you find something that you wonder about. And they really do wonder about it. When I first mentioned this to my kids, I was like, hey, here's the nonfiction section. Go get something that you wonder about. The kids were like, oh, do I have to? And then I said, really? You don't want to know about coding? Really? You're not interested in crafts? You really don't like animals? And I just kind of hit on their interests, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know they had books about that kind of stuff. And so they got to the point where they really, really love getting those wonder books, and they will just constantly have those wonder books that they bring home. But we really focus on it in the summer to make sure you have a wonder book, and Thursday is that day to look into that wonder. And sometimes if somebody's really particularly interested in it, we'll go do something around that idea. We'll say, wow, you really, really like animation. Can we go somewhere and see somebody who's doing some animation? Or, whatever their interests are, we will go and pursue that a little bit more on a different Thinking Thursday. We also will use Finder Seekers, and I'm trying really hard not to have things that cost money, because it's just annoying to have to buy things all the time. But I'd be lying if I said we never spent money on stuff. And one of the things we spend money on is Finder Seekers. Now, it happens to be that it was a Christmas gift, but whatever, we had to buy it. We did spend money on this particular thing, but Finder Seekers is awesome. And it's a box that is an escape room in the box. And so you open it up, it has 11 or 12 puzzles that you have to solve. And they're very, very creative in how they make you think and come up with the solutions. It's hard. My 13-year-old and I enjoy it more than the little kids do, but it is a real challenge, and it's a great thing for Thinking Thursday, because you really do have to intensely think about how this puzzle might possibly be cracked based on nothing more than you have a letter, and you're looking at the letter and you're like, what is it about this letter that's standing out as some sort of a clue or a pattern or something? So I am a huge fan of Finder Seekers, which brings us to Field Trip Friday. Now, this is the day that we leave the house, we go somewhere and we do something. There's really no theme to Field Trip Friday aside from we're going on a field trip. All throughout this last year, our field trips have been tied either to our history that we're studying or to our science, which I really loved. I found that to be really an effective use of time. But in the summer, our field trips there is a kids museum over here. We're going to go look at it. There is a factory. We're going to go see an Amazon factory. I've never watched an Amazon factory and how they organize stuff. That seems amazing to me. I'm going to go watch that. There's also a chocolate factory that we're going to go watch and see how they create the chocolates, how they create the inside of the chocolate and then coat it. And that's really fascinating as well. And so again, where we're going has a lot of factories, and I know where they are, and I know how to get into the different tours that they offer. So we'll probably be doing a lot of that at the end of summer as well. And Friday is this great day to really be a tourist in your own backyard, to say, what is cool around us? So where we live right now, we're going to go to the beach. We're going to see lighthouses. We're going to go out on the ocean. Those are things that are near us. And historic places, that's something that is all over the place that people come from far away to be able to experience where I live. We can just go do that on Field Trip Fridays. And then again, when we're not here, when we're out west, there are a lot of things out there that the Golden Spike Museum, where they have the actual location where the two trains from the west and the east met each other, they met at the Golden Spike, and that's right in that area. So we can go and we can see that and experience that. So you really want to be looking at your personal place where you live through the eyes of somebody who might be visiting and say, well, what would they like to participate in and see, and what's cool about this area that you can't find other places? And so that's really Field Trip Friday, is us leaning into that idea. And Super Saturday, I really don't have anything specific that we're going to do on that day. So basically we'll just take an activity from earlier in the week that we think would be fun to do with Dad. So probably a Wet Wednesday or a Field Trip Friday, and we'll put that on Saturday. And then we'll probably just go to a splash pad that day that we pulled it off of. So that is what we do. I will say that both Lowe's and Home Depot have, I think it's the first Saturday of the month that they will invite the kids in and give them kits that you can build stuff. So that would be a good Super Saturday activity as well. For our family, we do have a 17-year-old that has a full-time job, so that sort of just has to be in there as well. And we also have two camps that my teenage boys are going to be participating in that are a week long each. Basically, they're going to be gone and I'll just do stuff with the little kids. But I love the idea of doing a do-it-yourself summer camp. It is so much fun. It's so empowering. It's actually really easy. Most of the trouble, most of the effort that goes into it is in the planning. And once I make up, 4 or 5 things that I can do in each area, then it's just plugging them into the calendar. So much fun, something that I really enjoyed last year, and I'm just really looking forward to being able to participate in that again. I hope this has been helpful. You are doing really, really important things. Being a mom and being a dad really matters, and you're doing a much better job than you think you are. Seriously, you're rocking it. Keep it up, and I will see you on the next one.